question. Have you ever had a surprise so big that it seems bigger than a 4th of July finale? Imagine this, you went to your mailbox recently, you opened it up, bam, there's your new tax assessment. And all of a sudden, it feels bigger or uncomfortable for you and more explosive than the 4th of July finale. I'm Jennifer and this is Jeff. We're with the Home Gurus of Keller Williams Realty. Our job is to help buyers and sellers and homeowners navigate this real estate market in DeSoto County. So if here recently you just opened your mailbox and were overwhelmed with the numbers that you saw on your tax assessment, we're here to break it down. So are you ready? Let's light this fuse and get it started Southern style.
Property taxes going up. Why are they going up? Well, this year, the Mississippi Department of Revenue made a statewide mandate that the counties had to go in and reassess property values. For years in DeSoto County, the tax office had our assessed values of our properties at 56%. The state came in this year and mandated that they do at least 85% of your value of your property in tax revenue. That's going to make a big change for many of us. In fact, left like it was, you could have seen as much as a $50,000 to $75,000 increase in the value of your home according to the amount of taxes you pay. So it's going to be a pretty substantial jump. Good news, they are going to make some adjustments. We'll tell you more about that.
All right. The first question you probably want to know about your tax assessment bill is how are property taxes calculated? All right. So let me cut to an example. Let's say that the market value of your property is $300,000. You're going to multiply that by 10%. That would give you $30,000, and that would be your assessed value. Then each entity that taxes your property, and we'll discuss that in a minute, will have a millage rate, and you take that $30,000 and multiply it by each entity.
So who sets your tax rate? That's a good question. Really, there's about three major entities that come into play here. One's the county. The county funds things like roads, sheriff's department, EMS, those sorts of services. You also have the city. They have a city tax. That too, like in South Haven, for example, in DeSoto County here, South Haven, Olive Branch, Horn Lake, those entities, they fund your fire, your police, your parks, that sort of thing. And one of the more important ones is your school taxes. Usually that's the largest chunk of your tax revenue is generated with your school tax. And so even if the county cuts their millage rate or their assessment values, you still have the city and the school that come into play with that. So you got to watch all three. So your tax bill is made up of those three main entities. Could be some more depending on where you live, but those are your three main categories.
All right, so you're wondering, okay, so what does that mean? I just have to keep my assessment like it is, my taxes like it is? Well, here's some good news. City officials are meeting with their county boards, their city boards, and they're looking to reduce the millage rate. So a lot of the leaders are trying to figure out a way to keep the assessments because they have to, but make property taxes not such a shock or a major increase. So they're meeting. So you have every district votes separately. So while the county might roll back some of their millage rates, you still have the city and the school boards that are doing theirs also.
All right, and what this means to you as a home buyer or homeowner, an investor, a seller of a property, what does all this mean to you? Well, this is part of the fireworks show. As homeowners, you can expect that you're probably going to see an increase in your property taxes and in the escrows that you pay in every month. As a buyer, you're definitely going to want to pay close attention to your purchasing with your real estate agent. Look at what your taxes are going to be. There's going to be an adjustment there. From a seller standpoint, you want to be able to explain the taxes, know what you are currently paying, what the new buyer of your property would be expected to pay. You're going to have to pay close attention to that. And then as investors, for those of us that have investment properties, you're going to have to make an adjustment there. You're going to see a bump in your taxes this year. Even as an investor, you're going to see a bump in your property taxes. So you're going to probably need to make some adjustments in what you're renting and that sort of thing for. So there will be some changes that all of us, whether we're buying, selling, or investing, we're going to have to make some adjustments after this.
Okay, so we know the facts, we know the assessments are happening, and we learned that they're retro. So they're all happening for 25. I had to think what year we're in. So they're happening for 25. So whatever board budgets are set and fiscal years are kicked off in October, we're set with that. Oh, side note, if you're 65 and older or disabled and you've already had and you were already filed with the state, you are on a freeze. So those will not increase. And maybe if the millage rates go down, maybe yours might be a little cheaper. But now that we know all of those things, what can you do to help with your property taxes?
Well, first thing I would do is you should have gotten your card in the mail already that told you what they're assessing your property at now with the new rates. That should have already been in your mailbox. If you've not received that, and or if you have received that, I would review that very carefully. I might even call the tax office and just say, hey, will you walk through this with me and give me an idea of what my taxes are going to look like going forward? Like I said before, very good chance that all of us are going to see some sort of bump in the amount of taxes we're paying. That will help clarify about how much of a bump you can expect to see. So assess that card, get an understanding of it, and call the tax office for clarity on it.
I think another thing that we can do is watch for board meetings. I think it's very important to show up at your board meetings, your cities, your schools, your counties, because I think the more people that they see and hear, the more they're going to take into account how much that's going to affect us. And so our voices matter in this instance. And so you need to find out when your meetings are happening that they're recalculating their millage rates, and if they are recalculating their millage rates. So show up for those board meetings.
And to that point, we actually heard one of the key leaders in one of the tax offices say that being heard is good, but being seen and heard is much better. So I would attend one of the board meetings like Jennifer's talking about. I think one of the most significant things, and all of you need to listen to me say this, I think one of the most significant things you can do right now, Jennifer mentioned a while ago that it's going to be retro. You're going to see an increase in 2025 taxes. And when the tax bills come due and we have to pay taxes next year, you're going to find out that you're probably short on your escrows for this year. I would be putting some money aside right now, preparing myself for your tax bill when you go to pay it first of next year. Um, More than likely, good chance you're going to fall a little short in your escrows for this year because of this increase. So if you'll go ahead now and you let time work to your advantage. Use time on your side. Start setting a little bit of money aside each month right now. When you find out if indeed you are short on your escrows first of next year, you'll have money that you can pull, pay those shortages, and not have to increase your payment by the shortage amount too. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to say, just for clarification purposes, when he's talking about your escrow, so in your monthly payment, there are sections that you pay for your principal, your interest, and then your taxes and your insurance and your escrow accounts. Mississippi pays taxes in arrear on property taxes. So the end of December 25, you're paying for the whole 25. So you're going to get that bill is going to be due in the first of the year. If your escrows are short, which there is a high probability they're going to be short, you're going to get a notice from your mortgage insurance company. I mean, not your insurance company, but your mortgage company saying that your escrows are short. That may not come out till February or March, that shortage. And then you're going to have some have to either have that money in your escrows or in a savings account to make up that difference. And going forward, then your new payment should reflect, or you need to take into account or have your mortgage company take into account that difference so you're not short at the end of 26, right?
Yeah, that's a complicated way of basically saying this. We're going to be probably short money for 2025. You're going to see a tax increase a little bit for 2026 with the new assessments. So you're going to get kind of a double whammy there. And so I would have some money set aside so that, because what's going to happen is when the mortgage company realizes that we're short in our escrows, they're going to make an offer to us that we can either pay out of our pocket and close that gap, or we can increase our payment by that shortage amount for next year. So our house note payment would go up a little bit because of the shortages, and it's probably going to go up a little bit because of the escrows. I mean, the new property taxes. And so we may see a little bit of an increase there. What will help is if you've got some cash that you can pull from and say, you know what, I don't want to increase my payment for the shortages. I'll pay that up front now, get that cleared up. That way you only have a small bump from the new tax assessments. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. And I think what's most important, so the video is good, but if you need help, that's our job. So our team, the Home Gurus team of Keller Williams Realty, we service North Mississippi. So if you need help with this, please call us, and we can walk you through this, help you, guide you in the right direction as to what steps you could take. Because the unfortunate thing is, it's going to be at the end of the year, it's Christmas time, and then you're going to have an increase. We want to help you be prepared. So you feel free to call us. Another thing you can do is if you want the PDF of this, just drop the word taxes in the comments below and we'll send it to you.
And please hear us say this: it's not doomsday. Okay, we're not giving you a doomsday report. We're just telling you there's going to be some changes, and we're going to all feel it. We're all going to see it. Hopefully, for some of our senior adults, it'll actually be good news. But for the majority of us, we're going to see a bump in our taxes and our property taxes. It's going to happen. We just want you to be prepared for it. So if we can help in any way, give us a call here at the Home Gurus office. Email us, ever how you want to get in touch with us, and we'll point you in the right direction. We're not tax experts. Let me just say right quick, we're not tax experts, but
we can point them in the right direction.
but we do run in the circles of knowledge in these areas because we sell houses and properties. And so if you've got questions or you want more information on it, reach out to us. We'll be glad to help out. And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Jennifer, and we're the Home Gurus team here in North Mississippi. So in order to not miss out on any more updates, please subscribe to the channel below and follow us.